and welcome to my channel. Here I review new movies and television shows and release a new review every day from Monday to Friday. Today I want to talk about Sisu. It's an action-based story that sees a Finnish gold miner find a vein and attempt to cash it in during the height of World War II. On his way to the nearest city, a group of Nazis attempt to steal the gold and a deadly conflict breaks out between the two sides. Written and directed by Jalmari Helander, Sisu is a simple journey with minimal dialogue and music that takes full advantage of the beautiful Finnish countryside. Its hero, Atami, played by Jorma Tommila, is a determined and stoic man who doesn't speak a word until the film's final scene, and the villains are literal Nazis fleeing Finland as the Allies push their forces out. The film offers a basic explanation for why they're there in this particular part of Finland and has one of the Nazi leadership rattle off a backstory for Atami. But other than that, there isn't much dialogue, and what there is mostly reactions. The only characters who speak are Atami, the Nazi commander played by Axel Hennie, his sidekick Wolf played by Jack Doolin, and one of their Finnish prisoners, Aino, played by Mimosa Willamo. There are one or two extras who speak too, but most of the cast doesn't. Most of this film is silent and is more focused on the physical acting. The story is split into 6 chapters, with each chapter being a different leg of the journey. Chapter 1 is about Atami's search for gold, and the final chapter is about the aftermath of the journey. The film starts off a little slow, but once it picks up pace, the action is zany and exciting. Aside from the little bit of backstory that we get about Atami, there isn't any character development over the course of the film. We don't learn anything about the individual Nazis, the prisoners, or about Atami's current motivations. The story is filled with plot holes and strange actions from the characters that don't make any sense. Atami survives wounds and blood loss that no human could, and they don't bother to offer any real explanation for why. He just refuses to die. The Nazis also refuse to shoot him time and again. They always have him at gunpoint and then let him live long enough to escape. It was funny the first time, and the second time it made for a good beyond the grave moment. But after that, it was just silly. They'd have shot him on sight and put 15 more bullets in his head to keep him down. The cast stands around and does a lot of silent acting. The Nazis do a bit of jeering now and again, and the two leaders give out some basic orders. But other than that, there isn't much going on. Just people riding along on a truck or on top of a tank. Jorma Tommila as Atami gets the most screen time, and a lot of what he's doing is displaying the physical journey and reacting to the wounds he accumulates. He doesn't speak until the end, and so most of his scenes boil down to him angrily staring at different people before he kills them. He's quite charismatic and maintains a strong presence on screen despite this. Axel Hennie and Jack Dugan follow up behind him with the second most screen time. The two of them play the Nazi leadership who are angry, vile men. They want for his gold and in a cowardly manner order their men to their deaths one at a time. Both of them hold strong screen presence and do what they can with the dialogue. Visually, the film takes advantage of the location it was shot in and provides beautiful landscape shots of the Finnish Lapland. Everyone has the sun appearing over the mountains and casting long shadows on the earth. The sky is vast and the land is filled with natural landmarks. As Atami makes his way across, they capture the epic quality of his journey and interrupt it with small battle sequences between the Nazis and him. The battle sequences are short, often involve fantastical imagery, and are a bit disappointing. Each one starts with the Nazis finding Atami on a different section of the road and attempting to kill him. They always wait long enough for him to come up with a ridiculous plan, and each time it works out nearly perfect for him. The Nazis are incompetent and send their men in to die one at a time, and they never make sure to finish the job. No one ever told them about the double tap rule. While the ridiculous plans Atami comes up with are visually creative, they're based on complete nonsense. Like when Atami picks up and throws a landmine at someone without it exploding, only for it to explode on impact. It doesn't make any sense, but it's fun. The fighting itself is fast-paced, kind of choppy in how it's edited, and not very easy to follow. It jumps around a lot, and they have to cut away from the stunt doubles' faces often. Sound-wise, the film is mostly silent with an occasional track here and there during transitions and action sequences. Most of the time they reuse the same tribal chant song, otherwise they are using short and simple background instrumentals that don't have much impact. The silence feels okay at times. It lets the audience focus on the actors and what they're doing in the scene, but there are definitely missed opportunities here. The music they did use often ended long before it needed to and came in at too quiet a volume. The tribal chants work well to make Atami seem somewhat mystical, but the film doesn't lean into this in any other way, so it ends up being a bit of a waste. It's just cool music that plays behind him like a theme. Overall, Sisu is a somewhat disappointing action film that doesn't have anything to offer beyond a crazy guy killing cannon fodder Nazis. It's filled with plot holes, doesn't have a story beyond the premise, the soundtrack is underwhelming, and the action sequences aren't good enough to make up for the other areas of the film. The cast doesn't really get to do anything with their roles aside from mean mugging, and the film doesn't try anything new or experimental. 3 out of 10. And remember, these are just my thoughts on the film. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Bye bye!